All right, hello everyone. My name is KLM1187. I'm here with Chrome Cobra. We are going to be commentating today on the first round matchup of the Mega Man 1 all stages tournament here on Speedgaming. We have our first round matchup between khanster786 and CrebleStar. I believe our runners are ready to go, so we're going to send them off here in just a moment. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Just make sure the runners are good to go, and then we're going to get started here. This will be a best of 3, so the first runner to win 2 races will be victorious for today, and we'll move on to the next round. All right, looks like everyone is good and ready to go. So we're going to get started here. All right, so I'll wait for the countdown to happen here. Get a little tail of the tape for the runners, if you will. CrebleStar, his current PB is 1944, which puts him in 30th place. He's the 5th seed in this tournament. He also has a top time in Zipless as well. Competitive times in all of Classic Mega Man. He's also beat this game with a guitar controller as well, so he's very competent. So there's some good stuff out of him today. He's also competing in the Rockman 2 tournament that's going on in Speedgaming as well. And then we also have Conster here. His current PB is 2536. He's the 12th seed. He also has times in all the Classic Mega Man and the Mega Man X games. He also competed in the Mega Man 2, Rockman 2, tournament going on. So just waiting for the race to start here. Let's see. All right, sorry for the wait there. Now we're off. So both runners are starting here in Cutman stage is the first stage of this route. Reason being is the second level we're going to get the most important item that we'll need, or weapon, if you will. We'll see that in the next level. But Cutman is very fun first stage here. It's a lot of vertical platforming, a lot of precise shooting and jumping. So really fun level though. There's a little bit of RNG in this level as well with the Suzy enemies that we'll see coming up. I can see both runners making it through so far. This is the first real test of the stage. It'll be this little corner jump here. See Creble gets it first try. Conster's going to opt out of it, which is totally understandable. Very tough, real precise little corner jump there. We'll see another one of those in the next level. You can see one of the main mechanics of this Mega Man 1 speedrunning is this pause buffer here to basically take damage, and this is the one unique Mega Man game that has like a dedicated pause button versus separate from the menu button. So when you press select to pause when you take damage, it negates the knockback. So it's just a way to just get through a little quicker. You see, so these Suzy rooms, the other Suzy patterns can be random, so you have to kind of adjust what you're doing based on what kind of patterns they give you. We'll see another thing here with Creble's screen. He's doing a little wraparound. Pretty unique to the NES, where the top and the bottom of the screen kind of wrap around to each other, so you're able to grab the bottom of the ladder from the top of the screen there. You'll see that a few times throughout this round. See everyone's favorite Big Eye here. People have either high or low jump. If it gives you the low jump, you're going to have to tank the hit. It does a lot of damage. You can see the difference between health, HP, and Creble versus Conster. But we have Creble here coming to the first boss here, which is Cutman. Good thing about Comanche is he does take a decent amount of damage from the Buster as well. It's just this kind of dance that you do here, just getting the shots in, avoiding the shots. There's the orb grab. So you want to grab that orb on the as close to the top of the screen as you can to obviously make it faster. It's different from say Mario 3, for instance, where you don't want to jump for the wand. You want it to come down to you. But you see both runners get through this fight just fine. Treble with a little bit of a lead. We'll go into our next level, which will be Electman. Second level of the run. Electman is also a strictly vertical level, which is kind of rare in a Mega Man game. Mostly you see, horizontal platforming, but this game has a few instances of vertical platforming, which is pretty interesting. Electman is going to feature our first real kind of game-breaking trick of the run, which we'll see in just a bit here. You see the Kreble there just getting off the ladder, jumping up off the platform, just to see. You see how slow Mega Man climbs up the ladders? We want to try to avoid that as much as we can. Here's everyone's favorite Yoku block section. So you're going to wait for these disappearing blocks to appear. Here's one of those corner jumps. There we go. That one's a lot more scary because with the cut one, if you fall down, it's a little time loss. If you fall off of that one, it's a large time loss. So I've been getting it after for a couple tries isn't a bad thing. You see Khanster is going to opt out of the corner jump, which again I think is it's a little slower, but it's definitely it's definitely a lot faster than falling on the jump anyways, especially if you're confident with it. Alright, so Kreble's coming up to the first big trick here. This will be the the magnet beam here. We're going to do the magnet beam grab. So it's going to consist of well, I'm just going to watch and do this first, and I can kind of explain it after. Okay, he's just going to inch in there. Grabs it, very good. So it consists of, you need to push the shoot B button and down on the same frame at the top of the ladder to kind of like clip yourself into the ladder. And then, which basically wraps you around to the outside of the screen, which allows you to kind of clip into the wall there to grab the magnet beam weapon. The intended thing is to beat Gutsman first to be able to throw those blocks out of the way. But this is much faster, obviously. The only scary thing there is I didn't want to mention it until after both runners got safely through there, but if you do go too far into there and get stuck in that block, you're stuck there forever till the end of time, or until your NES 6 words, either way. But so not good. It's basically a reset. So here's the last final trick here from Kreble. This is the Elect Climb. Involves some precise magnet beam placement here to quickly climb up, and he gets both of them there. That's very impressive. Very tough. Arguably one of the toughest parts of the stage. But the Elect fight's coming up. I'm gonna use the Cutman's weapon here. Takes 3 hits. I mistimed it there, but there's another thing you can do with the pause button too, which we've seen there from Kreble, is if you pause when a weapon is within the boss's or any enemy's hitbox, the enemy's iframes run out as the pause is going on, so you can basically pause and unpause while the weapon's still there, and you can just continually do damage that way. And we'll see that on a lot of these fights here. But yeah, the 3 hits from Cutman's weapon takes down Electman. Next stage in the run will be Iceman. Iceman's going to feed. Now we're going to see how broken this magnet beam really is. So there's a lot of pixel perfect setups here with the magnet beam on the top of the screen. You can see from Treble there gets the first zip there. Now this is going to be our primary resource here to go through these stages as fast as possible. As you can see on Kreble's screen there, gets that first setup perfectly. We're going across this big gap here. These platform enemies are random as well. You don't really want to interact with them at all if you can avoid it. You see Kreble there setting up the beams in a very specific order to set up the zip there. This was found years ago by a runner named Cartina Cow. He was also in this tournament. Found these we call the buffer setup. So before the buffer setups were found, you really had to rely on pixel perfect placement of every single beam that you place in order to set up the zips. But with the buffers, it gives you a lot of leeway. We'll see that pause buffer again there for the boss kill there. And that's how most of the boss fights are going to go in this run, is just very quickly pausing in and out to deal maximum damage. You see khanster opting out of some of these zips here. But yeah, so the buffers are basically how they work is you're going to jump and let your beam out at the same time on a specific area, and it's I can't remember exactly what the leeway is, but it's definitely not pixel perfect, so it's definitely a lot more forgiving to set up a lot of these zips. So next stage is Fireman stage. So right here in the beginning, we're going to set up a quick little zip to skip having to go up and down those ladders and around. Oh no! So the other thing about the magnet beam is you're using it as a temporary platform to again avoid climbing ladders, skipping big gaps and pits and things like that. So we see Kreble attempts to do that at the end of the screen here. Unfortunately, had a little bit high of a beam that he could reach, so there we go. We'll see that he's going to opt out and take the ladders here, which is totally fine, because coming at the top of the screen, there is some weapon refill here, so you can refill your magnet beam to complete the rest of the stage. You're still going to be a little low on beam, so you have to be careful, but you'll see khanster gets through Iceman. There's another one of those buffer setups. You can see you're jumping and shooting the beam out right at the right time to set up that, that pixel perfect line to get that zip there. I actually go for that. That zip too is a new. I say newer one, but I mean it was 7 years ago. But it wasn't one that people were doing originally. This is another way to set up these beams too. Is on these ladders. You can set yourself up on the correct pixel. And there's the fire zip. Fire zip is it's a little involved. You see khanster also use the ladder to set up a zip there at the beginning of the stage. So yeah, that's another way to set up these zips is using ladders. We'll see some runners do that. The last kind of zips we'll see, we're not going to see them right yet, but we might see them after, is these corridor zips too. You can set up beams in these boss corridors to speed them up. But here's Fireman. So again, we're going to see more of that pause buffering. There we go, in and out. It's more of a rhythm pressing versus a mashing. You don't want to mash the pause button to set up those kills. You want to do it in a rhythm where it's just hitting them every time you come out of the pause. So khanster's going to not do that zip. He's going to go around the long way. Actually, that's what most runners do. And then we'll see how he does in the fire zip here. Yeah, I'm just looking to use the ladder to set up that beam here. Get yourself set up on the right pixel. That jump in is very important too for the fire zip. If you jump in the incorrect spot, you'll get what's known as the bad pixel, which basically means the zip is you cannot do it and you're going to take a death. So you see khanster's trying to set up some of these corridor zips here. Let's see if you can get any of them. Not most of that time, but we'll see a little more of those a little later. CrebleStar is into Bomb Man stage. He's opting to use ice for the first half of the screen, mainly just for that one guy there. That Sniper Joe is a real pain. There's a strat to use to set up magnet beams to get past there, which basically saves you a menu. But using ice there to freeze him to get past him is totally fine, and that's what I do as well. So. Alright, trying to set up that zip. So this is the last zip of the stage for Bomb Man. So you can do, call it like an ice pixel setup. So call it an ice pixel because that's like the pixel that you do to do the ice zip there in the beginning, basically. You can do it quickly there in Bomb stage, like right on the right side there. You set up your ice pixel, which sets up your beams at a perfect placement. He tried it there. Kreble tried it there the first time. Didn't get it the first time, so opted to use the ladder instead, which is totally fine. And here's the Bomb Man fight. Again, just that rhythm pressing of the pause button with the weapon in his hitbox to take him out. Nice and easy, well done. khanster's actually on Magnet Beam here, didn't go to Ice, so we might see khanster try to navigate the Sniper Joe section with the Magnet Beam here. No, he's gonna have to switch back to Ice, okay. Totally understandable. Alright, and this is where Kreble's already at the last of the 6 Robot Masters. Mega Man 1 only had 6 Robot Masters versus 8 in the all the titles coming afterwards. This is the first big hurdle here, is getting past this long section with the magnet beams here. There's a zip you can set up to get past there as well. It's the main reason why we do cut first is to have magnet beam for this. I think the previous route or another viable route is to do guts first, but then you're stuck riding those platforms, which is takes a long time. You see Kreble sets up another one of those buffer zips to get through the rest of that section. Monster's getting his ladder set up here for the final bomb zip. Well done. I also noted about that bomb zip, you have to make sure you push right at the end there to hit the door. If you don't, you're just going to fall into a pit and die, so you have to be mindful of that as well. Oh, there we go, you see Kreble got both of those corridor zips there before I could even bring it up again, so that's very impressive. Alright, I'm going to do this. The bomb weapon is arguably the worst in the game, and maybe in the entire series, honestly. But, so you have to get a perfect bomb placement there. But again, using your pause buffers to get them in line and finish the fight. So, very good 6 robos for Kreble. This Khanster just finishes bomb stage, so Kreble's got about a 1-stage lead at the moment. Going into the Wily stages. Our favorite antagonist. Or I mean, oh no, it's Dr. Wily again. Who knew? Wait, this was the first time. Never mind. Nobody knew. Anyways, this is Wily 1 here. So Wily 1, just like the rest of the stages after Olek, are going to feature some zips here. Main one is right in the beginning. Now, before the buffers were a thing, this was a very, very tough zip to set up. But as you see with the buffer setup, Kreble gets it first try, no problem. Now the unique thing about that zip is I can't remember the reason now, but you have to wait before you initiate the zip. So actually, to initiate the zip, you jump on the beam when it's placed there, and you have to push left, and that initiates the zip. For that zip there, you have to wait before you push left, otherwise you take a death there. And again, I can't remember the exact reason why. This is the toughest section of the stage. Dealing with these RNG platform enemies again can really get in the way of your magnet beam placement over that spike pit. As you see, Kreble had a little trouble there, but was able to get through just fine. It was scary, but and that screen here is a forced usage of the magnet beam, so it's actually what stops you from completing this game. True Buster only is you have to use magnet beam to get up that section. Alright, so Kreble's into the Yellow Devil fight. Classic Yellow Devil. Gonna put himself together on the right side of the screen. And there, I think for whatever reason, Yellow Devil's iframes are very short. I think it's like the shortest in the game, if I'm not mistaken, as far as any boss goes. So that's why he's able to kind of hit the pause button a little quicker there. And also by alternating start and select there, for some reason he takes a little more damage a little quickly. But again, Kreble maintains about a 1-stage lead as Khanster just finished Bomb Man. Oh, I was just about to say. Okay, so I was gonna say there's 2 different ways to approach this stage. Yeah, so he's gonna opt out of it. So the first approach is to go through the refights as intended. The second approach is there is the Wily 2 skips that you can set up, which require a certain amount of beam. I was gonna say they didn't seem to have enough beam use for that, but he got the big jug refill there, which is amazing luck. Still opts out of it, which is completely understandable, because again, the Wily 2 skips are not only is it very tough, but it's also you can also soft lock yourself at end your end, so not very practical to do in a race situation. Oh, it looked like Khanster had accidentally went into Cutman stage, trying to enter Dr. Wily's stage, so I had to take a first game over. So yeah, the Wily 2 skips are, unless you're truly confident in doing them, it doesn't make sense to do them in like a race like this.
Especially with Khanster practicing this zip right here is a matter of the one Creb was doing. I saw him practicing earlier when they want to try it.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it would totally make sense, especially if you're, fighting a deficit. You need to make up some time, and if you go for it. But there is a little screen wrap there that Treble set up at the end of there. Same thing, using the ladder to set yourself up to go out of bounds to wrap a few of those screens. You do have to make sure that you get out of the screen wrap at the right time, otherwise you'll hit some spikes and die. This is the copy robot fight. Its weakness is the fireman's weapon here. Nothing very interesting about this fight. You just kind of get your shots in when you need to. There's a cool mechanic with the fireman's weapon though, is if you press the shoot button before the projectile leaves the screen, you can get you basically you duplicate your the shield that's around you, and it stays there for I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 seconds or so. I can't remember the exact amount, but sometimes you do want to do that there to save yourself on some fire ammo, because you'll be using fireman's weapon later on at the end of the run. So alright, so we see Khanster navigating this spike section here. Sorry, that gives me anxiety, that screen every time. Krebel setting up the screen wraps here in Wily 3, so you would wrap around a couple of these screens, set yourself up perfectly, and then here just using just skipping the whole final section of this screen here. Now the way it does it, I can explain that in a second. We're gonna see here another frame perfect trick here. So basically, with the Gutsman weapon, you can pick up these blocks. You need 7 of them total. They only give you 4. So you can see what Krebel did there is he's pushing the shoot button on the same frame that the block leaves the screen, and what that does is it gives you we call them dupes. It allows you to duplicate the block. And he got pretty much all of them. That's really impressive. Usually we try to ask in chat how many dupes you guys think they're going to get, but you get there so fast there's no need to. But I think he only missed the first one. He got the rest of them. That's very impressive. Khanster looks like got another cycle on Yellow Devil. So try to navigate through these blocks again. Krebel's in the final stage, Wily 4 here. Just like the rest of them, we're going to set up some zips here to make this stage faster. Yeah, first part. This might be a little tricky. Okay, you got it. I was going to say, usually you want to just shoot that top block. Sometimes you do end up shooting that second block off. So yeah, it's a little trickier to set up that zip. There's another zip you can set up there right at the end to zip yourself right to the teleporter, but now we're going to skip the rest of the refights. Didn't quite get it there. Let's get it there either. Oh, we did. Okay, cool. I could talk about that once the race is over, how that works a little bit, but Krebel's coming into the final boss fight here, the Wily fight. Yeah, he's going to grab that refill. So that's why if you dupe your fire shield, you can save some ammo, so you don't have to grab that refill, save a little bit of time. Minor time save, but so yeah, and we'll see that here in the first phase. Yeah, so you can see he pushed the shoot button before the projectile left the screen to duplicate the fire shield, so you can just do some consistent damage without using any ammo. Both phases are weak to the same weapon, so you just keep it out, get as many hits as you can, and that'll be time, and that's it, that's time. So we got a on stream time at 20:54, and same time in the race time chat. So very impressive run. GG to CrebleStar there. Yeah, just about a minute off of his PB, which is really really great in a race setting here. So GG to CrebleStar. Yeah, let me talk about with the Wily 3 zip and the Wily 4 boss skip. Basically what happens is, like, when there's an item on the screen and you take damage and you try to pause, like you normally would, the game doesn't let you pause when there's like a weapon on screen, so you just continually like take damage like that. And then for whatever reason, like for the boss skip, if you're high enough in that boss room and Bomb Man's bomb explodes, for some reason it it shoots you up into the next room, and then you just zip around to who knows where, and it's somehow you respawn by the boss door, so you skip all the rest of the refights there. So that's my best explanation I got for that, and how that works. The Wily 3 zip that you see that skips that long corridor, kind of similar thing, where so there's a magnet beam out, and you're just continually pausing to just initiate that zip there as well. So, but yeah, very impressive first run there from CrebleStar. Khanster's coming into the copy robot fight now. A little low on health, so I'll have to be careful here. We'll see how Khanster takes this fight on. Up and use the Buster. He's getting a little close there, yeah. That's a cool mechanic about the copy robot fight, though, is it's you know it copies whatever strategy you decide to use against it. So if you're using the fire weapon, use the fire weapon. If you use the Buster, use the Buster, etc. So, but the fireman's weapon is the I guess the I don't know if it's actually the actual weakness of this boss or not, now that I think about it. It's kind of just what everyone does, so. He's having a little rough go on this fight, but he's spacing him out just enough to where I think it should be... Oh, he had one hit left. It's going to be a game over. We'll see if... Yeah, so it looks like Khanster's gonna call it there, so we can move on to the next race. GG's to both runners there. So we're going to go ahead and get set up for the next race here. Again, this is a best of 3 format, so you know, if CrebleStar wins the next race, then he will win this round and move on to the next round of the tournament. If Khanster wins the next race, then we will have a race 3. So yeah, we're gonna get set up now, so just give us a moment, and then we will I'll be right back for the next race. While we're at it, if we could get a command, yeah, I think there's a command to get both runners stream links in the chat there, so you can give them both a follow. Like I mentioned in the intro, both of these runners both took place in the Rockman 2 tournament as well. So, I mean, just for that alone, I mean, it's hard enough to, you know, prepare for one game, one tournament, to do 2 at the same time and perform, you know, at such a high level is really remarkable, and I think both runners deserve a lot of credit for that. And if you like what you see here as far as the game goes, and you think the speedrun looks cool, you can always join us over at megamanleaderboards.net, is where we keep all the Mega Man speedrun times for all the classic Mega Man games and the Mega Man X game, all the Mega Man games really. And then we do have a specific Discord set up to help people learn, ask questions, you know, post PBs, celebrate, things like that. So if you're interested, please join us there as well. But yeah, we're gonna just get set up, and we'll be right back with race number 2. looks like both runners are ready to start the next one. We're not wasting any time here. All right, yeah, looks like we're both ready, so we're gonna get started here on the next race. We got 15 seconds. I guess I'm going to mention too, so both players are playing on the Rockman, the Japanese version of Mega Man 1. The only difference is this lovely title screen, which is arguably the better one. The US version has a different title screen with different artwork. That's the only difference between the two games. Most runners prefer to play on this version because the title screen is a lot cooler. So. This is Mega Man 1, yes. This is the second race out of 3, or I should say the second race out of the best of 3 series. CrebleStar won the first race. So again, if CrebleStar wins the second race, then he will move on to the next round of the tournament. If khanster wins this race, then we will have a race 3, so... Alright, just letting the stream catch up, and then here we go. Alright, so again, both runners are going to start off in Cutman. Cutman is the first stage of the run here. So Cutman here. Again, like I said before, it's just kind of a vertically scrolling level with some RNG elements to it. This is based on a lot of these call them the Susie enemies, which is like those eyeball enemies. Can give you some different patterns here. You can see like both runners shoot that turret there. It's just to help clear up that ladder so you can get up as quick as possible. You'll see a couple of those things too. You'll see another one here. Again, we'll see this little corner jump here to save running around. It is a precise little jump, so we saw khanster opt out of it the first time. Let's see if he goes for it this time. Yeah, still gonna go around. It's totally fine. These are the Susies I'm talking about. Again, using that pause button to damage boost. This is one of the rooms that can give you a little bit of bad luck, which a little bit of bad luck from Kreble there. That room too, if that Susie stays on the ladder, you have to be very quick getting up there to get past him on that one bit of iframe. Sometimes it'll move out of the way though, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, both runners getting through Cutman stage here with no issues. Again, we'll see that ladder grab from the top of the screen from Kreble there. I love that little strat. Let's see Big Eye. Let's see what Big Eye does here. So Big Eye gives Kreble the big jump, so you can go right under. Let's see what Big Eye does to khanster. Gives him a small jump. It was the same exact thing as the first race. Kreble got the big jump, khanster got the small jump. So Kreble has enough HP to be comfortable in this fight. Khanster will have to just be a little more cautious. Like to see some little dance here. You can, if you have the proper amount of health, you can take damage on a few of the shots in between the last 2 shots of the fight, just to speed up the fight just a little bit. But nothing too serious. Again, jumping to grab the orb when you can. Grabbing the orb as close to the top of the screen as possible is the fastest way to complete the stage in this run. I see both runners will be moving on to Electman next. These jumps here in the beginning too are a lot harder than they look.
I hate them.
It's so bad, yeah, and it feels so bad when you fall off of there during like run attempts. It's
You have to get through a nice clean cut and then come into this and can't get up 15 seconds. Yeah,
yeah. It feels bad. You guys see Kreble shooting those enemies on the ladder there. Really quickly. You can do it one of two ways. You can, the way that Kreble does it is it's kind of precise. Like you have to drop off the ladder, grab up, and then shoot like kind of like all like kind of at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll kind of see what I'm talking about when you see him do it. You'll see him pop off the ladder for a split second just to get the shots off. It's just to basically just get the shot off while continually moving up, so that way you can not get shot by the next enemies coming down. Yeah, it's a little cool little thing. We'll see the magnet beam grabs here again. Are shooting down in the same frame to get into the wall. You have to do like a precise jump, and then be very careful not to walk too far into the wall there. So we see Kreble like being very meticulous with it, and I can guarantee it's mainly to avoid getting into that space. Because if you get in there, or the ND jail as we call it, sorry Andy, you're stuck there forever. You have to reset. There's no way out. But we'll see once the runners do grab the magnet beam. You do still, even though there's no zips in this stage, you will still see the runners use it to you can avoid having to climb up these ladders, because you see how the ladders take a very long time to climb up. And then also using it here, again, mainly just to avoid climbing up that ladder. And then again at the end here, you do have another big eye here. You know, you don't necessarily need health to, but having the health is just is real safety, because if you get hit by one of these beams or a cut man hits you, does a lot of damage. So Kreble's gonna do a little bit of a backup here, just to ensure that we get that right beam placement. So that beam placement, that first beam placement, is kind of like what I was talking about with those quick shots. Like you have to drop it off really quick in order to get that right beam placement to get there on time. So very precise. It's very tough. Kreble has a little better time with the fight there. It does take damage though right at the end, so unable to jump and grab the orb, but was able to finish the fight really quickly. Khanster was also able to grab the magnet beam without getting stuck, so I'm very glad that both runners and both runs had no problems doing that. It's just one of those really anxiety-inducing moments in the speed run, either watching or doing it yourself, especially in a setting like this where it's Khanster is opting to use the magnet beam to get over Big Eye there. Love it. Alright, so again, coming to Iceman stage. Oh yeah, go ahead, say.
I was gonna say, if I ever need the health of the Lake Man, I die. But if I don't need the health, I can kill Lake Man without ever taking a hit. It doesn't make any sense. It's like it's just something's not right about it.
yeah. It's not a tough fight, but it's definitely one of those fights where if the one thing goes wrong, like you're gonna be in for a bad time. But you saw Kreble get this set up there for that first zip. Again, very nice. Again, these beam placements are pixel perfect. So to set them up, really with any consistency, is just a true testament to the player's skill. Honestly, you know, again, like I said in the first race, the buffer setups that were found really made it a lot easier and more accessible for people to set them up. But I mean, even still, to do that, it's you know, it's still very impressive. I can't state it enough how impressive it is. So we'll see Kreble do the Iceman fight here. So again, get that elect weapon in there, pause a couple times, grab the orb, finish the fight.
Yeah, a lot of muscle memory in the magnet beams. Even if you know how to do it, you still have to do it to know how to do it.
Yeah. Like I said, even with the buffer setups, like it's still very precise, and you know, it's really the main way you're saving time in this run. If you mess up any of them, you know, it's basically just it's the end of your run. It's just a PD attempt by anyway. So
They make it look so easy too as they're doing it.
yeah. And watching like high level runners of this game is truly just, it's one of the to me anyway, it's one of the most impressive speedrunning things you can watch. So Kreble having a better time in Fireman this time around. Oh, didn't get the zip setup there though. He was 1 pixel short on that setup, which you saw. It's instead of getting the zip setup, it actually wrapped him around to the bottom of the screen. So he grabbed the ladder at the bottom. But not a huge deal, minor time loss. But we did get to see him jump through that pit there, which looks like a death pit, but it actually, if you jump through at the right velocity, kind of initiates that zip that you would have gotten the first time. Kind of funny. Able to set up that final fire zip, no problem. Curious to see, he didn't go for the, I don't think he had enough beam to go for these last time. Yeah, he's gonna go for the corridor zips here. Get 1 pixel too low. And same one there. This one's a tough room to set him up in because of the turrets. It's one personally I never go for because I always tend to lose more time going for the zips than I would just to use ice to freeze the anyways. So no problem with the fight there. No problem with the fight. Iceman fight on khanster786. He's just starting. Fireman stage. Kreble's just finishing. So Kreble with about a 1 stage lead at the moment.
What's your favorite soundtrack from the Mega Man 1 game?
I do Cutman. Cutman is my favorite for sure. And to me personally, it's honest. I think it's the best starting stage song in all of the classic Mega speedruns. Anyways.
I kind of hate that you never actually fight him with a weakness at any point in almost any of the runs, except the Gutsman first zipless.
Yeah. But it's a fun. I mean, it's a fun Buster only fight though. I mean, it's not difficult, and I don't know, there's something about it that's just it's kind of fun. So, but yeah, see,
the Metal Man, you gotta love him.
So we saw Khanster go through that little pit that I was talking about, and the one way to make sure you get that perfect velocity setup is to fall from a magnet beam. For whatever reason, Mega Man falls faster off of the magnet beam than he does off of the other ledge. And it just so happens it's that perfect velocity to initiate that zip through that little gap in Fireman. Okay, so this time we were talking about this last time when Kreble came through Bomb Man. There was you can use we call it the ice pixel to set up the zip on the right side there a lot faster, and he was able to get it that time, so that was cool. Here's another weird thing here. When you're dropping into the Bomb Man fight, you want to make sure you're facing left, so that way you get that small little zip into the boss room to set yourself up here to be in a good position to do the fight, and also be able to grab the orb as high as you can. Oh, I jumped a little. I don't know if you jumped a little too soon or too late, but I wasn't able to grab the orb up top. But that's fine. Khanster, no issues with the Fireman fight as well. So again, still maintaining about a 1 stage lead for Kreble here. Coming into the final stage, Gutsman. Gutsman is the shortest stage of the run too. Well, the Robot Masters anyways. I think Wily. There's not enough Wily 3s. I think Wily 3 is shorter, technically, but. Alright, so again, there is a zip you can set up here to speed this first section up, but it's difficult, and honestly, just getting across that section is like your main goal.
Did you play this as a kid when you were younger?
Yes, it did.
So how much did you hate this stage as a kid then? This was the worst stage to ever try to do when you're 8, 10 years old.
So I'm trying to think. I think I was, yeah, maybe I don't know, 5 years old, or maybe when I first played this game, 4 or 5. I don't think I never got past the second screen in any of the stages. So the one I do have a vivid memory of is the Electman stage, though. For some reason, I remember being stuck in that stage all the time.
Yeah, it was the green platforms for me. They always just haunted my nightmares.
So Bomb Man fight here once more. Or sorry, Gutsman fight with the bomb weapon. And we got the little grab there. Little infamous little way to finish that fight. Very nice. Honestly, all these games are really tough, even as an adult. I remember when I first got into, when I first started watching, Mega Man speedruns back in like February of 2016, I think it was. I remember I bought the Legacy Collection on my PlayStation, and I'm like, oh, I can do this. Like, I love Mega Man. I used to play these games all the time, and I couldn't beat a single stage. Like, but anyways.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling after, I believe the first one I seen when I came back to playing games was Funk Doc running Castlevania 1. I was like, dude, like I played Castlevania 1 a ton. I got this.
Yeah.
No, I don't got this at all. Not
Yeah.
even close.
Yeah. So one cool thing about speedrunning is make it look so easy, way easier than it is, and until you actually go and try it yourself, it's you don't. Sometimes you don't realize it, or you just don't know, or you know. But
I like using it as a tool for the to learn the games that like this that haunted me as a kid. I can go kind of learn a mild speed run of it without many tricks, and just beat it. I can beat it in 30 minutes now. It's so nice to get that off my back. I love that.
oh yeah, I'll have to do that with I'll have to do that with Double Dragon 2 someday, because that game used to just join me as a
Yeah, yeah.
But with that being said, I mean, I was once someone who had never speedrun before, and it's a great hobby and a great passion, especially if you're into all games like this, or just any game in general. And I've heard this a million times, but literally anyone can do it. So if you're interested, give it a try, and yeah.
Was the spot in Double Dragon 2 the invisible platforms you had to jump up and down or across or whatever?
Like kind of like the Yoku block kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
on the train.
yeah.
Oh yeah. That was
Yeah, that was it. Oh, that's so stupid. Why did they have that part in that game? It was such a good game until then.
Yeah, that's where kind of most of my playthroughs as a child ended. Yeah, but Kerbal had a little tough time getting that elect beam set up because with the Yellow Devil fight in this game, the eyeball can spawn, I think, in 3 different positions, and it's random. So you either get a top spawn, a middle spawn, or a low spawn. And if you try to you try to gauge where it's going to go, or like kind of wait, but sometimes you shoot either too high or too low to get one of those higher low spawns, and it kind of throws you off. So, but I was able to finish the fight there with 1 HP, and that's all you need in this game, or any game. So.
Sometimes you can be at the right spot, but the pixel would disappear around the eye, so as you're trying to pause buffer it, you can see the shot going around everywhere it needs to be, but not where it's supposed to be. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like just hit the eye. Come on, man. Come on, pixel.
It's an easy fight, but it can be very frustrating. Yeah, and it always seems to go that way when you're on good pace too. Naturally, but we saw Krebel opting out of the Mega Man. Wily 2 skips again, as we were talking about earlier, which is totally understandable, especially with a stage and a half lead. There's no sense in doing it. I selfishly was hoping that he would go for it in this run, just with the 1 race lead, but it's wise not to. But we'll see this setup. I didn't get to talk about this last. So yeah, so we see that was a perfect first try setup there on the ladder. So you push down and shoot on the same frame. You have to be facing left, and then you press up, and that shoots you into the wall. There you have to opt out of the wall though, because if you keep falling, basically what it does is the wraps pushes you a screen ahead. So if you kept falling, you actually land on those spikes there, because the game thinks you're on that screen like in the screen before. It's a kind of a weird thing to explain, but it's cool.
So like the Mega Man 2 zips where you see the screen that you're actually on a split second before it swaps to the screen that you're then saying, okay.
Yeah, I believe so. That's correct. Yeah.
Who figured that out? You know what I mean? Who was playing the game one day and figured out all these zips and how they work?
I don't know. I wonder that all the time. That's why I love watching the summoning salt videos and stuff, and just like sometimes some of the ways that these things are fine. I feel like, I don't know, I'm just all statistics are made up, whatever, but I feel like 80% of these tricks are just found by complete accident, or just so but it is cool. It's one of the coolest things about speedrunning. It's just how did somebody how Anyways.
Yeah, what were they doing? Like, this wasn't even part of the game. Like, how did you get to this end result? I'm glad they did.
Well, one of the funny things about being like a speedrunner now is like I've been playing through Cult of the Lamb recently. This is a really fun game, but I somehow managed to clip myself all out of bounds. And like I feel like before speedrunning I've been like, oh my god, like what the hell, like this game's broken. And then like as being a speedrunner I'm like, oh, I can totally see how that happened. And probably replicate it if I wanted to. But anyway. We'll see how many dupes CrebleStar can get here. He got let's see. Okay, got one so far. So again, with the dupes here, you have to push the shoot button the same frame that last block leaves the screen. So it's a very precise trick there. You got all but one. You need to get, what is it, 3? At least 3?
4. Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3 dupes. 3 dupes. Yeah.
You need to get at least 3. Yeah, because it's 7 total hits, and they only give you 4 blocks there. Otherwise, you have to finish the fight with the Buster. So that's still pretty. 2 is still really good. Yeah,
I typically will bust out the first 2 and hope that one of the 4 gives me a dupe. I'm not very good at it. It's tough to get.
It's very tough, and especially if you play on like an old CRT TV where the edges are cut off, it can be it's tough.
Yeah, I've got an old 36-inch CRT.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Got 3 dudes. Need to move it.
Oh, he got it actually. He didn't think he thought. So there's that final zip you can set up to the teleporter. I don't think he was. I don't know if he was going for it or not, but
I don't believe he was. I believe, yeah.
Because I think he was surprised because you could tell like when he jumped up there, because you have to push left again to initiate that zip, and he kind of just stood there for a second. I'm laughing because that happens all the time. So it's funny.
He reacted to it in time.
Yeah, they're pretty clean overall. Wily 4, so his Kreble's coming into the final fight here, and yeah, as long as there's no issues on the fights, which I can't imagine there would be, he'll be the winner of this round. A nice little fire.
First phase Wily is so fast.
It is, yeah. This is a fun fight too. Like there's really nothing like nearly difficult about it, and it's just one of those fights that's very. All right, that's gonna be time. Time for KrebleStar. GG's.
42, very nice.
Yeah, so 2 sub 21 runs is very impressive. You know, again, this PB is 1944, so being within a minute of your PB in any classic Mega Man game in a situation like this is really impressive. So yeah, GG stand for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say it is nice to have a fight like this at the end of there with so much precise just everything that you have to do leading up to that fight. It's nice to just have like I know the run's done, I can just, you know, walk through and finish it you know, nice and easy. So
yeah, the Wily shit fight was always tough to do without the pause buffer. It was always one of those things like, well, if I get there, I know I'm going to have to pause buffer. It's nice to have it down where you can just jump up and fire shield it. Now, it was nice to have somebody tell me that or figure that out for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, GG's to Kreble. Once again, just want to shout out, shout out both of these runners here. Go if you're into, you know, Mega Man speedrunning, go give these guys a follow. They're both very talented runners. Like I said, both also performed or will be performing in the Rockman 2 tournament that's going on as well. So yeah, definitely shout out to them. GG's to Kreble. GG's to Khanster too. Khanster actually said in the tournament Discord like 30 minutes before the race started that he just figured out how to do the fire zip again. So he's just like, I was like, oh, just in time. So you know, just for joining anyways. And again, like, you don't, like, these things are open to anybody. You know, we always encourage everyone just to join up, just for fun. You know, it's always fun just to be a part of it. Anyways, I love being a part of these. in any capacity myself. So it's just a lot of fun. It's a good time. It's good to be involved with the community, and you know, and like we were talking about before we started here, like I'm a fan of these games more than anything else. So I love just sitting here, just watching, get to talk about it, and just seeing some cool stuff. So.
Yeah, never gonna get tired of watching these games. I don't care what they do or what category or who's running. I'm here for some Mega Man.
Yeah.
Creble, what's up, Creble?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo, Creble. First of all, GG's on winning this round, winning both of the races.
Thank you very much.
Very impressed. I was saying, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, but like for me, like for any of the classic, I know you've run like all the classic Mega Man games too, but being within 1 minute of your PB in a setting like this, for me, is like very impressive. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, a sub 21 run always feels really good in this game because Mega Man 1 like can go like south really fast if you do something wrong. But yeah, I mean, like little mistakes that I think that I would try not to do in later brackets if I get there. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy from those runs. And like, if I did not get the death in the first run, that would have been a better run than the second one.
Was the Wily Corridor zip? That wasn't intentional, was it?
The one
just before the bomb man door. Looks like you kind of hesitated there for a second. We didn't know if you were trying to set up for the zip or you realized you were up into the ceiling and had to finish out the zip to get into bomb man on the refights.
Yeah, I was really close to the ceiling, so I was not sure if I could pull it off. So I still went for it, and like it worked, so it was okay for me. I mean, as long as I don't fall the spikes, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it always feels bad when you're setting that up and you get that 1 pixel too high one, and then you just fall right through, and you're like, oh well.
Yeah, exactly.
I was saying selfishly, I was hoping that you would go for the Wily 2 zips in the second race there with the 1 race lead, but also like makes sense not to. But I was just curious because like I was wondering what your thoughts were because like in the first race you were a little short on beam coming into Wily 2, and then you got the big jug drop, like that infamous like the holy grail kind of drops. Like did you have any thought of potentially going for the skips at all, like when you got that, or in general, or were you just decided to opt out from the beginning?
I mean, usually in a run in PB attempts, I would go for it, but in the race setting, it's so likely to soft log that there's so much things you cannot control in that zip that because, like, first of all, just the jump from the wall is so random. It could be 2 frames, 3 frames, 4 frames, which you have to press left plus A. It's a mess.
Yeah. I said that too. Like, I don't blame you for not going for them.
Yeah, I mean,
for any reason.
Yeah, it's really not marathon safe. Let's just put it like that.
No, definitely not. Unless you're like cool kid or ND or working something,
Yeah, but even then, there's still a possibility of getting a sub-pixel and like getting locked in the room. That sucks. I mean, yeah, sure, I mean, those guys. I mean, if they have like 2-3 beams, they can get out of there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I was also like, I know in the second race, I don't know, I commented on this, I don't know if it was true or not, but with the magnet beam grab, it looked like in the second race, like you were taking your time to try to like set up the jump there. Was that intentional just to make sure you didn't get, because that's another place you can easily get soft lock too, so.
Which spot, sorry?
The magnet beam grab in Elect stage in the second race.
Oh yeah, I just had a freaking hard time, man. I had a hard time getting into the wall. It's just like the motion. I don't know if my controller or just the way I play. I'm gonna blame it on my controller, I guess. But
Classic,
yeah, but yeah. Overall, just had a hard time going into the wall. I usually go top exit, but I don't know what happened on the first one. I just like hit left and it came out. So I just thought, oh well, let's just go with it.
Yeah, I mean,
second one just didn't work out, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I even said it too. I'm glad that because Khanster got them both in both races with no issue too. I'm just glad that it always feels bad when someone gets stuck there.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of controllers, because I mentioned this too. Like I know you've, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you've beaten this game with a guitar controller before, and like I think all the other ones as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that too? And like I guess, yeah, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a thing. Like I started doing like Mega Man covers like a long time ago on real guitar, and then I thought, like let's mix both together. Let's just like grab the Guitar Hero controller and try to make it work with Mega Man. And actually, I mapped all the buttons I tried to limit myself to the actual like playing, like guitar playing on buttons. Let's say like not the start button and D-pad. And yeah, I just started doing runs like that. I think right now my PB's like 23 something with the guitar.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you able to set up all the zips and everything too?
Most of the zips I can do. There's some that's really hard and confusing because the thing is my D-pad is spread out like in 3 places. It's kind of weird. Like left and right is on the strum bar, like the pick bar.
Yeah.
Up is on the tremolo bar, which is the dive bomb and things, and down is actually on the 3rd button, which would be the yellow one, I think. But
right.
Yeah, the mapping is spread out weirdly. Like I actually have a PNG of the controls somewhere on my computer, like which I actually show when I run because it's like the people are just like, what the hell?
That's so wild. Okay,
Yeah.
Follow-up question. So, since you won this race, we move on to the next round where we'll actually be racing together, me and you. Our PB is only separated by 3 seconds, so I expect it to be a very good race. Now,
Yes.
Any chance that you could potentially use the guitar controller for our race?
Hello,
I'm
Asking for a friend.
That would be fun though, but yeah, I mean, I almost kind of wish I didn't have like a high PB on Mega Man 1 on NES, so I could like actually post the time with the guitar controller. But yeah, but yeah, that would be a fun thing.
So, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I don't know what happened while he won. Everything just disappeared.
Wait, what?
So, like right before you do that, right before that long section with the like green guys, everything just disappeared. No enemies existed.
Oh, really? I didn't even catch that. That's interesting. I'll have to go watch that back. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, like I took a hit, like falling down, going down that 2 rooms prior, and then everything was just gone.
Huh.
Interesting. I'll have to go back.
That's interesting. I've had one instance ever of having an enemy despawn, but he actually like despawned in my face. It was weird. I think it was Susie and Cutman. But
all the enemies in the rest of the stage were just gone.
I mean, Wily 2 you can do that. If you do the Wily 2 zip, it actually despawns all the enemy actually. But
yeah, I know.
But in other stages, I'm not aware of that, actually. That's weird.
Well, I'll have to go back and watch that, yeah, maybe see if
Yeah.
I've seen that before. But anyways, Khanster, GG's on, finishing the second race and just, just in general. I know I was mentioning...
Surprisingly, in that first race, I was slightly on PB pace.
Yeah, I was mentioning too that you had said like 30 minutes before the race that you had just figured out the fire zip again. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Or?
I just joined on a whim. I'm like, hey, I can remember how to do all this. It shouldn't take me that long. Because I kept getting like the wrong pixel.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, let me look at a video real quick. And then
I was having the same issue when I just like started de-rusting the game too. So I actually asked in Discord, I was like, can somebody help me out with this because it's driving me crazy.
Because I thought it's like you're supposed to jump right before like that dark section, you know?
Fire zip is pretty confusing if you like don't go at it for a while and just come back to it. It's just like, oh, there's something missing. But yeah, you have to jump at the exact spot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, like you said, I mean, I always appreciate that about you, Khanster, that you do always join. Despite wherever you may be in like your PBs or whatever.
I was just like, you know what?
Like it's just
look, screw it, let's join.
Yeah, and I was talking about that earlier. Like, if any, like, I just try to encourage as many people to join as possible. Like, despite what you're, you know, where you are in the leaderboard or whatever, because it's just fun to be involved. You know, to see yourself on the stream and just be involved with everyone, learning and relearning at the same time. Like, it's just the whole community aspect around it is what's like really cool.
Yeah.
About it, so.
Like, I like seeing all the community get together.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yes.
you've been around the community for longer than I have, and I've been around for a long
I've been
time.
around like both the X and this community.
Yeah. So it's always fun to see you, and you always have such a positive attitude, and like yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Yeah. So, anyways, you guys have any final words before we send it off?
I kind of wish I had gotten a little bit more practice before just being like, let's just go into this.
Yeah, Mega Man.
To be honest, I didn't know how long we had before our races were on cutoff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, like I just finished with X. Let's just get these over with.
Yeah. How about you, Krevel? Anything? Any final words before we send off?
I mean, I'm happy to for like I said with the matches I had tonight. Again, the GG's again, Khanster. I mean, you know, it's always fun racing you, and yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the next match. So is it guaranteed now? Is this gonna be me versus you, KLM?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Can
so
we get Credible on the guitar?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you would still win.
I mean, that would be a fun thing to do, but yeah, I mean, of
So
course.
if you win first race, you're saying you're going to race the second one with the guitar.
I mean,
Well, actually, I don't know, because now that I think about it, if I were to lose, I don't know if I could. If my psyche could handle it. No, I look forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, just this tournament's gonna be going on, you know, the next couple of weeks. So make sure you follow along. One more time, just make sure you go and give these runners a follow because they're both awesome.
Yeah, now that I've done both Mega Man 2 and 1, I think I might want to do a little D-Rust and kind of get some better PBs in both games.
Yeah, for sure. And again, anyone who's interested in joining the Mega Man community, join us over at megamanleaderboards.net. We have a dedicated Discord. All the leaderboards are there. Tons of people around to help out and help you learn, and big community of all us Mega Man nerds. So yeah, join us up. And yeah, with that, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. GGs, and yeah, we'll see you guys for the next race. Thank you.
Later.
peace.